Since a youngin' had to change it all. From my baby's drugs to the project halls. Oh man, life was so hard. From trying to make a move in a pissy hall.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Dick and Chubbs. We're back from our Thanksgiving hiatus. Sorry we couldn't post last week, but
busy week.
Yeah,
on top of the snow.
Yeah, it was a tough week to actually get a podcast done. So we apologize for that, but we're back on track now.
Our apologies.
And
Thursday.
Since
Thursday we have the
Thursday we have our top
Dick
10
and Chubbs special.
Our top 10 stadium atmospheres.
So that's something to look forward to. We know you guys love the top 10. We got negative feedback, which was good for us.
So this week we're really honestly just going to be talking about football and football alone.
Because
we missed last week.
There's nothing to talk about in the MLB. We're in the off season, and
the NBA sucks.
Yeah, we'll wait until the NBA gets a little further.
Yeah, same with the NHL because like they're both seasons are so early. The only storyline you could really talk about is Markelle Fultz and
his free throws.
Boy,
all right,
that dude's gone.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start with the New York Football Giants. We don't usually do that. We usually start with the Monday night game, but we already know the Texans are on a roll, so we're going to start with the Giants, who led in Philly 19-3, and that rarely happens because the Giants don't win in Philly, and they haven't since 2013. And I had a feeling, I said, oh, maybe, just maybe we'll win this game, and then Shermer happened.
Honestly, I had a bad feeling at 19-2-3.
Yes.
I just
that we were going to blow it.
I just had that feeling like, oh, God, I know these guys are going to blow it.
We couldn't catch a cold in the second half. We couldn't score. We couldn't even move the ball. We had 8 yards heading into the fourth quarter. Pathetic. We took a 19-3 lead and blew it. I mean, Barkley gets 4 touches in the second half.
How
and that's
do you
a
only
big
give Barkley 4
headline.
touches in the second half? He had like over 100 all-purpose yards in the first half, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the first half alone. He was torching them, and then you take the ball out of his hands in the second half? That's just bad coaching. Like, I'm not on the fire Shermer train, but I find myself questioning a lot of his decisions. You know, was he trying to prove he could win this game without Barkley? Like, I don't get it. Why are you taking the ball out of Saquon Barkley's hands? That whole game. Also, the Eagles secondary is beat up.
So do you agree with Beckham's comments? Because every analyst in the whole entire sports world are bashing him. They're bashing him. They said he needs to stick with the train.
No. With that one time, this time I agree with Odell. The Eagles had wide receivers in at cornerback.
In practice.
Wide receivers.
In practice, yes.
In practice. Doesn't matter. But you get what I'm saying. All right? Why are you not taking shots downfield, trying to beat up that already beaten up secondary? Why are you not attacking that secondary? Why are you not stunting at the line? Why are you not crossing? Why are you not doing all these things that you know you can do and you have the ability to do with Shepard and Odell? Why are you not giving them the ball? Why are you not taking shots downfield? I don't get it. And I find myself questioning if it's Pat Shermer's preparation or not. Because it really seems like Pat Shermer doesn't watch film. Or other football games for that matter. Because things that work against the Eagles or any other team for that matter, the Giants don't do. And it doesn't make any sense to me.
It makes zero sense. And I'm actually fed up with this team. It was laughable watching the second half.
Like the first half they looked great. They looked fantastic.
19-3 until
they looked like a
Eli
football
throws
team.
the pick. Big turn in the game.
Yeah, that pick was definitely 100% Eli's fault. He was trying, the one time he should have thrown it to Barkley because Barkley had about 20 yards in front of him with no one around. The one time he actually should have thrown to his check down, he didn't, and he tried to force the ball to Odell, who was in triple coverage. It's decisions like that I don't like.
Giants are 2-0 when they give the ball to Saquon Barkley 20-plus times. didn't do that this game and a loss.
I don't know why.
So
they
we got
didn't
a
give the ball
potential
to him in the
move.
second half.
Potential move in the NFL. Kingsbury to KC.
Well, all right. Let me
the
explain.
Texas Tech coach of Patrick Mahomes.
Let me explain the situation because it's not a potential move, and really it's not even on the table. It's more of just like a what if scenario.
Yeah.
So Cliff Kingsbury just got fired from Texas Tech.
Old Mahomes coach. Former.
He was Pat Mahomes' coach over at Texas Tech, obviously. What I wanted to see was KC's probably going to lose their offensive coordinator this year to a head coaching job. He's probably top of the list on a couple teams' coaching candidate
Giants.
board.
I don't know.
No.
Yes.
Pat Shermer's not going anywhere. We've got Shermer for 4 years, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. But Cliff Kingsbury, I read a tweet today, his phone's been ringing off the hook from NFL teams. Now, I don't think they're head coaching offers. I think they're offensive coordinator offers. Because the tweet said that college offense has infiltrated the NFL. And I agree with that. You're starting to see a lot more downfield play nowadays in the NFL. Now, imagine Cliff Kingsbury links up with Pat Mahomes again in Kansas City as the offensive coordinator.
Deadly.
He's got Pat Mahomes, and then on top of that, he's got all of Kansas City's weapons on offense. Dude, you got Pat Mahomes, you got Travis Kelce, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Kareem Hunt, all playing for Cliff Kingsbury in an offense that Pat Mahomes probably knows by like the back of his hand. That should be a no-brainer for Kansas City. That should be a no-brain hire for Kansas City because that would be dangerous, and I really think that could be the start of a dynasty. If they do that, they beef up their defense and they get like one or two offensive linemen who to protect Mahomes because their offensive line right now is not great.
It's not bad.
It's not the worst in the NFL. They get the job done. They do get the job done. But that really could be the start of a dynasty in the NFL, and if that happened, I would be so excited to see that. I think that would be so dangerous and so much fun to watch because that team would average probably 35 points a game. Average 35 points a game.
That's good.
Yeah.
Big numbers right there. Well, we'll move on. DeMarcus Lawrence says he wants to choke out Saints offensive linemen. They play this week, and they play Thursday.
Well, if he's being literal about that, he's probably just going to get thrown out of the game, and the Cowboys are going to get blasted, so.
Well, I mean, who do you got? Cowboys have been talking hot how they're not afraid of Saints. I think the Saints come out and absolutely murder them.
I think the Saints are going to... Where is that game in New Orleans?
In Dallas.
It's in Dallas?
Yes.
I still think the Saints are going to destroy
Yeah. I mean,
Cowboys.
You can't stop them right now.
Honestly, and their defense has stepped it up.
Yeah. Compared to the beginning of the season, you're right.
That defense with the addition...
They let Fitzmagic tear them up for 40 in week 1.
And then they've really stepped up that defense because they started off the year shaky, but now I would call them... Not the best defense, obviously. I don't even think they're...
I would say top 5, top 10.
No, top 5 is generous. I'd give you top 10 defense.
Yeah.
And
they get the job done.
I kind of think top 10 defense is being a little generous too. But I would definitely say they're in the top half of the league. And I think the Saints are the best team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, easily.
I think with that offense who definitely a top 5 offense and that defense who is right on the cusp of a top 10 defense is the best team in the NFL. What do you think?
Yeah. I do. I agree.
All right, cool. So what do you got next?
Listen, I personally I had the Rams winning the Super Bowl. And after the Saints beat the Rams, I hopped on. They've got the job done. Breeze is in the MVP talk. I don't know if he's going to win, but he has his case. I'm totally on this Saints bandwagon right now.
I'm 100% on the Saints bandwagon, and I think my Super Bowl was Kansas City Rams.
Yeah.
But now
I think
it's going to be Saints.
Patriots.
No, I think it's going to be Saints Kansas City.
And I'm going to go with Patriots and Drew Brees.
I think Kansas City is going to end up with the number 1 seed in the AFC. And I think the AFC championship is going to be Kansas City versus the Pats, and I think the Pats are going to get crushed.
Bro.
Yeah, Kansas City kept it close in Foxborough.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I think them going into Kansas City, there's no way in hell Brady comes out of there with a win. No way. Because Kansas City is also often referred to as the rowdiest stadium in the NFL.
And we'll talk about that Thursday. You like that?
I did like that, actually. But they're definitely some of the rowdiest fans up there. And it's definitely one of the loudest. I think it broke the record for the loudest stadium, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years ago or last year maybe. They did that, and they got the Guinness Book of Record, whatever. You know what I'm saying.
Big Ben
comes
out in a statement today and says he's not apologizing for the 12 picks he has thrown so far, and especially the one that he threw on the 2-yard line, try to force it to AB, cost them the game in Denver. Your thoughts?
Ben's Ben. He's got 2 rings. He's a Hall of Famer.
How old is he?
Eli's age.
Eli's 37, 38?
37, 38, something like that. He's...
It's nice to have a quarterback that can perform like that. Can't relate.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Continue.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a guy that has been there his entire career. I don't think he needs to apologize. He brought Pittsburgh 2 Super Bowls. Shut up. All right? You guys got the whole Le'Veon Bell situation, and you're worried about Ben Roethlisberger? Shut up.
So Fortnite, oh my God. Fournette. I don't know.
Can we talk about that for a second? What the hell was that, Joe?
What? Fortnite?
Fortnite.
It's kind of...
Joe.
Fournette. Before I was interrupted.
Well, no, I'm still not off the... Is Fortnite in the NFL? No.
Technically, the jerseys are in Fortnite.
The NFL
are in Fortnite.
The NFL is in Fortnite. Fortnite is not in the NFL.
You're right. You win. All right. Fournette throws hands, wins by TKO, suspended for 1 game.
Wins by TKO.
There was an absolute brawl.
You know what I love?
In Buffalo. It almost went into the crowd.
You know what I loved
Fan
about
got ejected.
You know what
it was bad.
Loved about that game? Freaking how Jalen Ramsey talked so much shit.
And he needs to shut his mouth.
Said Allen sucks. Allen has a cannon, dude. Did you see him throw that ball like 60 yards downfield or something like that? That kid has a rocket launcher attached to him. Holy cow. And the Bills came out with fire. They came out swinging. And you know what? I think, yes, Bortles sucks. But I think part of the reason that the Jaguars are struggling so hard is because every team comes out and is looking to smack the Jags because Jalen Ramsey opened up his mouth.
Yeah, he's ruined the season for them.
I think when he did that,
they should trade him.
Every team came out with a vengeance and were like, we're going to fuck these guys up because this motherfucker can't shut his mouth.
He's a fuck him. I hate him now.
Easy.
No, I hate him. He's cost me so much money on top of the bullshit he has. Like, dude, fuck you, man. You get the biggest fuck you award. Don't bleep that out either.
No, I'm going to have to beat that.
Texans, Monday night, they absolutely destroy the Titans at home. They win their 8th straight, the first team to do it in the NFL merger, starting 0-3 and win 8 straight. I'm on the Texans bandwagon as well.
Are you a believer in Billy O?
I am not.
You're not a Billy O believer.
I'm not, but I am a Deshaun Watson believer on top of Tyrann Mathieu in that defense.
I mean, I think that defense is the most underrated defense in the
league,
NFL.
100%.
100%.
I don't know how the Giants beat them. How did we beat them?
Because that was the day that we came out to play football, and we haven't come out to play football since.
All right, you win good. Keep going.
But honestly, I think that's the most underrated, least talked about defense in the NFL. And that's probably a top 5 defense because they are killing it, man.
And they got Tyrann Mathieu for free.
They pretty much got him for free. They pretty much got him for free. I mean, Deshaun Watson is playing football. Lamar Miller is playing lights out football. I meant to say great football. I know. I said Deshaun Watson is playing football. Deshaun Watson is playing great football. Lamar Miller.
Should I call you out on that one too, huh?
Yeah, you should. Lamar Miller is playing
97-yard run yesterday.
Lights out football. Freaking
I still think they lose round 1. Call me out on it. I don't believe in Bill.
All right, so if they go to the second round, the divisional round, do you believe in Billy O?
You got to get to the AFC Championship before I can believe it.
I don't think they're getting to the AFC Championship.
So that's why I don't believe in
it. I think, but they're gonna have to go play Kansas City probably.
Okay.
In Kansas City.
So show me, win the game.
I don't think they'll be able to win that game, but I do believe they will get to the second round.
Well, hot take. I like it.
Well,
they get knocked out first
they're going to
round.
get to the second round anyway because they're probably going to win the division. Actually, the Colts are in the division, right?
Yeah, but
all right,
Colts are
that. I don't know. That's good. That's going to be a tight.
Not too far, but
that's going to be a tight division race. Actually,
it is.
I'm thinking about it now because I am also on the Andrew Luck bandwagon.
Jameis lights up the 49ers secondary, which isn't hard, for 312 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did not throw a pick. Bucks win their 4th game of the season. Should the Bucks keep Jameis Winston?
No. You have to move on from Jameis Winston.
So the crab leg error is done for you.
The Bucks have to say goodbye to Jameis Winston. 1, he's way too much baggage. And 2, he's just he can't if he can't get it done in Tampa. Like, if he hasn't gotten it done by now, then he probably never will there. I think he'll go on and be good somewhere else, but I think he needs to be out of Tampa. I think he needs to change the scenery. I think he's one of those guys that will do better once he has a change of scenery. So realistically, no, they need to get rid of him. They need to try to trade him at the draft or something.
I want to see them move on, but this quarterback class is too iffy. That goes with another year of tanking. You got to stick with him. You got to build around him. That's my thoughts.
I mean, you can try to build around him, but we've talked about how low this draft is for star talent. For offensive guys that make plays and quarterbacks, there's just none of them in this draft.
Yep.
They're all coming in next year's draft. Even Justin Herbert, I doubt will come out this year. I think he's going to stay in college. So really, there's nothing they can do. But I do believe that Tampa has to get rid of him. There's just nothing to be done there.
The Seahawks.
Really, I just think they're beating a dead horse.
I like that. The Seahawks build tremendous chemistry and momentum as they beat Carolina 30-27 in Carolina, 6-5, so they have that leverage over the Panthers, and they're making their way into the hunt higher and higher. Do you believe in Seattle, and are they the biggest surprise so far this season?
So I believe in Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson is continuing to prove why he is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because Russell Wilson, man, that dude knows how to play football. He really does. He honestly might be the smartest quarterback in the NFL. The smartest. Because you just watch this guy play and what he has around him, and for how crappy his O-line is, that man is still getting it done and has that team in the hunt for a playoff spot.
And they're the number 1 rushing team in the NFL.
Exactly. So really, the Seahawks definitely are the biggest surprise because I thought the Seahawks were going to be terrible. But then again, in their defense, I thought the Giants were going to be great. So, take what I say with a grain of salt. But yeah, I think I think Russell Wilson is proving why he's a Hall of Famer, and I think we're starting to get to that point where we can talk about Russell Wilson being in the Hall of Fame. I think when it's all said and done, he will be a Hall of Famer, though.
Oh yeah,
because he's so good, man. And he's the only reason, I really think he's the only reason that team's good. Now, Chris Carson, I like Chris Carson a lot. I think he's a great running back.
But yeah, without Wilson, they're a one-win team.
But without Russell Wilson, that team sucks. And that win in Carolina was a statement.
Yeah.
That Seattle is a force to be reckoned with.
Yep. Well, we got a quote of the day. Yes. We're gonna do that new segment. I like it. Okay. He left Cleveland and goes down to Cincinnati. I don't know. It's just somebody that was in our locker room asking for us to play for him, and then he goes to a different team we play twice a year. Everybody can have their spin on it, but that's how I feel.
I mean,
said Baker Mayfield.
I mean, that man got fired.
Post game after
he got fired and he got offered a job and he took the job. What's he supposed to do? Be like, nah, that man's got a family to feed. Shut up.
So, does Baker Mayfield need to grow up?
Yeah.
And stop being petty?
I didn't really think he was being petty. I didn't think he was being that petty. I didn't think it was that bad. I think it was just... I could see why he's angry. Because their head coach went to a divisional rival. I see why he's pissed. I see why he's angry. But, shut up. The man's got to feed his family. He's going to take a job and get the job, and do the job. Right?
Didn't Baker Mayfield play for Texas Tech and then went to Oklahoma?
All right, but...
Get the fuck out of here, Mayfield. Grow up.
Mayfield wasn't... All right, first of all, you shut up, too. All right?
You like that one, right?
That was pretty funny. But, Texas Tech... He was behind Mahomes. He wasn't going to start over Mahomes. He was never going to start over Mahomes. So really, I do understand why Baker is mad. But, football is football. And the coaching carousel in the NFL moves so fast that I get why Hugh took the job in Cincy. Marvin Lewis is one of his best friends. And he offered him a job, and I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, yeah, all right, these bitches fired me. I'm going to help you beat them.
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing. So really, you can't be mad at Hugh. You really can't. Moving on.
Colts, yes. The Colts moved to 6-5 after a 27-24 win at home against the Dolphins. They move up in the hunt. They are the first team in the hunt now. They are one game behind. They're actually tied, but technically one game behind the Ravens. Luck.
Wait, what?
I said luck.
Well, no.
Before you
how are the Colts behind the Ravens?
They're both 6-5, but the Ravens have the edge.
Oh, you're talking about wild card.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about division. Yeah, that's why I thought you confused the divisions.
Yes. So Andrew Luck on the season, 3,100 yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 picks. Is Luck a top 5 quarterback when healthy?
Luck is another quarterback this year that surprised me. He really did, man. I really thought Andrew Luck's career was over. I thought we were going to label him bust. I thought we were going to label him another first round. Was he the first pick? Yeah, I think he was the first pick. Yeah, he was definitely the first pick. I think he was going to be another first overall pick bust. But honestly, he has surprised me. His shoulder looks good. That offensive line is the best offensive line in the NFL right now. So they really put money into their O-line to protect Luck. And he's getting the time that he needs to throw the ball. And he's getting it done. And his shoulder's holding up. Now, I get why they're throwing Jacoby Brissett in there every now and then to give him a break. and to throw the long ball because they don't want to test Luck's shoulder like that. That's fine. And also, I'm a very big Jacoby Brissett fan. I want the Giants to trade for him, but that's another story for another day. So really, though, I would agree, Joe. I would agree that Andrew Luck is one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yep, I could agree with you on everything you just said. It wasn't looking good with that shoulder.
I thought that shoulder injury was going to be the end of his career.
Yeah, and then he went to Italy like Kobe did, got treatment.
Something about the Italians, man. They just know how to fix people.
It's called not being in the United States. Although I do love this country. Moving on, Pack fall to 4-6-1. And a just disgraceful loss.
Fire McCarthy.
They look so horrible. And
this
Vic,
is the same.
Vic, this is towards you.
This
and
is
let me say this.
Right.
I need to speak my mind on this. You cannot blame McCarthy for everything that the Packers do. They lead the league in sacks. You're going to blame McCarthy on that? Their defense is finally holding up. I think we need to start holding Aaron Rodgers accountable for some of these Packers losses. Everything is not on the coach. Unless you're Shermer, okay? I don't care what you say, all right? You got to start blaming Aaron Rodgers. He is not producing, and then you're going to blame the defense?
Explain to me.
You're punting 7 times with Aaron Rodgers.
What Aaron
Whose fault
Rodgers
is that?
is doing.
Aaron Rodgers threw a
Explain to me
knuckleball
what
and
he-
lost in Seattle. I don't want to hear it. He needs to start taking some of the heat for these goddamn losses. McCarthy's a fucking Super Bowl champion. And you're going to come out and say,
You're
fire.
talking like you were a Packers fan.
I'm not. It's pissing me off. Fire
How is
McCarthy.
it
It's getting
pissing you
annoying.
off?
It's getting annoying. You need to start putting some of the heat on the GOAT.
You think
The
it's
GOAT.
annoying? I have to hear it from my brother.
Tom Brady's my GOAT. You want to know why?
Why?
Because he wins. When the hell has Tom Brady ever been on a losing team? I don't care he's in the AFC East. Start putting some of the goddamn heat on Rodgers. If he's the GOAT, he needs to fucking take heat like it.
Okay. All right. Aaron Rodgers taking heat. That's Joe's take. Honestly, I don't see it being Aaron Rodgers' fault. Don't start yelling.
Hit me with it.
Don't start yelling. Don't start.
Hit
yelling.
me with it, please.
Honestly, I'm not. No, because I'm going to talk calmly like a normal human being, Joe.
Yeah.
All right. I do think they have to fire McCarthy. And it's the same. Honestly, it's a very similar situation to Pat Shermer last week. They took the ball out of Aaron Jones's hands in the second half. They took the ball, and Shermer took the ball out of Barkley's hands in the second half. Both teams had a lead going into halftime, and look what happened. They both blew the lead because they took the ball out of their running back's hands. I am a big fan of the Big Ten. You know why? Because the Big Ten is run first. And me, I'm an old-fashioned football fan. I am a run-first guy. And when you take the ball out of your running back's hands, the whole point of throwing the ball is because you're trying to get the other team off balance.
Yeah. So you
right.
bait him in on the run.
Yeah, you bait exactly. You bait him in on the run. You hammer them on the run. 6 yards, 4 yards, 8 yards, 10 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, 6 yards. Throw it downfield. You bait them in on the run. That's the whole point of throwing the ball. That really is. And when you take away your run game like that, you're screwing yourself because the other team knows, all right, this is Rodgers. Rodgers is just going to heave it downfield all game. And that's all he's going to do. That's all McCarthy's going to have him do. So really, I don't put this on Aaron Rodgers at all. I really don't. I put that on McCarthy. He took the ball out of his star running back's hands, who has emerged as a star because Aaron Jones is a very good running back.
All right. Well, we give our both takes. We're going to move on to college football. Michigan suffers a horrible loss.
Michigan
What's
got
your top
blacked. First of all, I want to talk about Michigan. I want to talk about the Big Ten first. So that Michigan loss pisses me off so much, dude. So much.
Because now you don't know what's going on.
No, not because I don't know what's going on. It pisses me off about Penn State because if Penn State came away with a win against Ohio State, and then Penn State lost to Michigan, and then Ohio State beat Michigan, that would have, and Penn State eliminates their other bullshit losses. That puts each team with one loss. Or actually, that would eliminate Michigan because they would have 2 losses.
Yes.
And then you've got I think Ohio State would still be in the championship game because they have a 29-point loss to Purdue. And Penn State with a 30,
Well, I don't think the Big Ten makes it into the college football playoff.
36-point loss to a ranked Michigan team. So it really would have been worse if that was the situation, because who do you put in the game? Who do you put in the Big Ten title game? Because Penn State beat Ohio State beat Michigan, and Michigan beat Penn State. Michigan lost to Notre Dame. Ohio State got blapped by an unranked Purdue. And Penn State got blapped by Michigan. So that would make the Big Ten title game a lot more confusing. I still kind of think they would put Ohio State in. But, that's neither here nor there because that's not the situation.
So who's in your top 6?
So who's in my top 6? My top 6 is pretty much going to be the same top 6 as the committee has. It's going to be Bama, obviously, Clemson, Notre Dame at number 3, Georgia at number 4, Oklahoma at 5, Ohio State at 6. I do not think the Big Ten will be represented in the college football playoff this year.
Yeah.
I think
I'm with you.
I think that Michigan losing is a huge loss
For the Big Ten.
is big, huge for the Big Ten. I kind of lost my train of thought because my brother was being a dick.
Does UCF make it?
No. The only situation UCF makes it is if Oklahoma...
I think they're ranked 7th this week.
I think they get ranked 7th too. You're 100% right. You can't ignore a team that's gone undefeated 2 years in a row in the regular season, not counting their conference championship games.
Well, they still won.
But the only way
They still went undefeated.
The only way that they get in is if Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Georgia all lose. Now, I think Georgia's going to lose, and I think at the end of the year, Oklahoma's actually going to get into the playoff over Georgia. But
Alabama and Georgia this week.
Exactly. I think Bama is going to clap Georgia.
That would be our next subject, bowl week talk.
Hang on. Let me finish what I was saying. I think that's how UCF would get into the game, is if those 3 lose. But if Georgia beats Bama, then Georgia shoots up to number 2. You've got Clemson at number 1. You've got Notre Dame at number 3, and Bama falls to 4. Or Notre Dame falls to 4.
So you think if Bama loses, they're in?
Yeah. I think Bama has proven that they are a playoff team after going into LSU and absolutely clapping LSU. Blanking LSU.
I like it. Hot take!
And Auburn.
Stove is hot!
Realistically, Bama is a lock to be in. But the Big Ten might be in some trouble because I don't think the Big Ten's getting in.
So we got some bowl week talk. We got SEC Championship, Alabama and Georgia.
Bama.
I'm going Bama. You have Clemson, Pittsburgh. That's not even close.
Honestly,
but they're both ranked.
None of the Power 5 conference championship games are going to be close.
Hot take. Stove is hot.
Because
Dick is coming with the hot takes.
Because look at. All right, I lied.
So you don't think Northwestern Ohio State's going to be close?
No, it's going to be a clap.
Okay. So
that's going to
you
be
don't
the
think
worst
Oklahoma?
one.
Yeah, you're right. You don't think? Don't sleep on Northwestern. That's all I'm going to say. You think Oklahoma Texas is going to be a blowout?
I think that game, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I actually changed my mind. I think the SEC, ACC, and Big Ten games are all going to be blowouts. I don't even know who's in the Pac-12 championship. I'm going to say it's like Stanford and Oregon or something. Stanford and Washington?
Yeah.
Washington and Utah? It's Washington and Utah. All right, well, Washington's going to clap Utah. Although Utah's kind of good. So I don't know. But I think that the Big 12 game is going to be the best game of the year. It's going to be the best conference game this year. You got Texas and Oklahoma. Texas came out with the win last time. But I think Oklahoma's gonna win this one. I think that one's.
I hope these bowl games are good because you know what I love
the Sooners
more than cake?
football.
Bowl season.
And now the only bowls I like are like Christmas Day to New Year's Day. Those are the only bowls I like.
I just love football, so I love everything.
Honestly, any game before Christmas Day is just the, hey, you played football, so here's a bowl. You know,
Bowl.
I love those bowls that are like more than 5 words, like the Mayan Key Car Care Bowl. Like just the ones like
just call it the toilet bowl for once.
Like the Georgia State Strawberry Shortcake Bowl. Like they're just the stupidest names for bowls. And those are so dumb and pointless, and they're always like teams nobody has watched all year, like Wyoming versus Utah State. Like, no one watched Wyoming this year. No one watched a Utah State game this year. You know, and now you're going to force me to watch this toilet bowl? No, thanks. I start watching bowl season maybe the day before Christmas. That's about it. Otherwise, I don't really care.
Well, I like it. We're going to end in the question like we do, question of the week. Who has the best offense in the NFL? This was Dick and Chubbs.
See y'all Thursday.
Yeah. Mondo out.
Peace.
Since a youngin' had to change it all. From my baby's drugs to the project halls. Oh man, life was so hard. From trying to make a move in a pissy hall.